Welcome back. Well, this is very interesting. We're hearing stories, and they're not only stories, but real life. What these people have been through. This is through it all, and I have no doubt it's speaking to your life, your situation, your circumstances. So, welcome back. So, Reverend Penina, you're telling us after that somehow you met somebody who was to be a very important person to you. So, how did this come about?
Yeah, I continued working in KU, Kenyatta University. Mm-hmm. Of course, the university kept growing.
Yeah.
And God gave me favor. I could be released for some study leaves now to do the professional bit of librarianship. Then when I came to Nairobi, I heard a pastor from home, blessed memories, Bishop Mother.
Okay.
And so when I came, he already had introduced me to the church.
Okay.
And that's where now we met.
In church?
In church, but my brother was a friend to his neighbor, who later became our best couple in the wedding. And through my brother, I can say directly it's through my brother that I met him.
Okay.
Because now when it's like he is in Nairobi and I am in Nairobi, and my brother kept telling him my sister is there. So it's like a close relationship.
Okay.
And
so the brother is the one kind of bringing you close and all that. Did he plan it that way, or he was planning for you to meet so that something may be born out of this? Or
I think it was just a communal attitude that was too much in people. That when you know somebody and you are friends, and you have another friend, you connect with the other friend. That's what they did.
Okay.
Maybe today he would be a bit hesitant to connect me to a man.
Wow.
But that's what happened. So
you first met in church or in or where you lived? Your first meeting?
By the time we met now in church, my brother had connected us. So it was like...
So you already had met outside the church?
Yes, we knew each other. And he was very fast to ask me. And you know... You hear the kind of man he was.
What do you mean very fast?
Like he kept following me.
Is it like after how long after you have met? Is it after a year, after 2 months?
I don't think we stayed for long. Because when my brother now introduced me and our best man, who was also a young man from his village, he kept now following me. It's like he wants us to talk, know more about me.
How did you commit? Because there were no phones, no cell phones. So how did you plan, like, we can meet, we can talk, or how did that create a picture for somebody? You know, today you can call somebody, but those days, how did you plan we are going to meet?
I used to come for all meetings in church.
All meetings.
And he was living in Pagani.
Okay.
Me, I'm in Kenyatta University. So when I'm coming, where I alight, now we walk together.
He'll be waiting for you.
He'll be waiting that we walk together now.
To go to church.
To church.
Okay.
And so now, and he was also very quiet. So even when we are together, it's me talking. But he wants to meet me. Sometimes I used to ask, why does this man want to meet me? And he's not talking. He doesn't even talk. He doesn't even tell me exactly what he wants.
He just wants to be with you, I imagine.
That that used to disturb me a lot because my brothers are talkative and I was used to that. So that is one thing
So
I
you're
was
looking
asking.
for somebody like your brother who can talk and talk.
Yes. But I didn't find it in him.
Okay.
But one of the things that I don't understand up to today is that he was very quick to invite me to his home.
Where he lived? In Pangani?
Mangu Sasa.
Oh, back
To
home.
the
parents,
mother.
Parents,
And he knew my home. And my story is not like their home.
Okay.
So I went to their home and I saw their kind of house.
Wow.
And it's like
Oh my! Did you go alone or with others?
we went with him.
Just the two of you?
Yeah, he introduced me now to his brothers and the mother. But their house was, you could see people inside when you are outside. And as we had, our home was good for that time.
It was decent home.
So when I came back, I kept praying and asking the Lord. My biggest worry was, will my parents really accept such a person?
Okay.
He was very disqualified as far as my home is concerned.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm from Murang'a and he comes from Kiambu.
Yeah.
And people from my place in Murang'a used to believe that marrying a man from Kiambu, Kiambu is very near Nairobi.
Nairobi, yeah.
When you go there, then they go live in Nairobi. They don't own shabas. And that disqualified. So men from Kiambu were not accepted.
Wow.
So I could see all this that disqualify him in my home.
You love him, but you are worried about the
I'm worried about the response at home.
Yeah.
So I kept praying, and it's like, do I love this man or I have sympathy for him?
Oh my.
And his kind of family, and you hear the kind of shoes he puts on. But at the end of the day, we ended up...
and he's the firstborn. Don't forget.
And he is the firstborn in the family. Actually, even that time when he was working, the mother was sickly, very sickly.
Oh.
When I got married, I stayed with the mother for less than a year.
Wow.
And she passed on.
Only. Wow.
And he is the only one who was medicating him, and he was on drugs and special diet before he died.
Back home.
So, so I felt I'm still pulled, and I'm still pulled with the circumstances, even to this man. And finally, we got married.
So how long did you stay when you visited? It was just for the day and you went back?
We just went home. We went and came back.
Okay, the same day.
The same day, the same day. We didn't put up
But
there.
your mind, let's hear from him. What was going on in your mind, and what did you see in this beautiful girl who didn't look like you?
I married when I was 26 years.
Okay.
And I was 27.
And
as he said, I met her through a brother. A friend of mine told me that he has a friend. I met his brother in Kirowea because I used to go for weekend. I would travel to Kirowea, how my friend was working.
Oh.
He was working with the government.
Okay.
So most of the weekends I would travel to Kirowea, and I met his brother there.
Oh.
As we talked with my friend, he told me that the brother is called, we used to call him Tycoon. Tycoon has a very good sister who works at KU. We arranged how you can meet. So we arranged with Tycoon and my friend to meet the sister.
How you meet the sister?
Yeah. And I met her, a very tall, slender, with afro. Very big, very quiet and whatever. And I felt like, I think this is the kind of a person I would like, because my mom used to be very secret. And somehow I felt loneliness as a firstborn, working as a mother in the house and doing all that work. I needed somebody caring. And I found in her that she has the quality that I want.
Okay.
So I decided now to pursue her after we met.
Wow.
And because I had an access with the telephone call I was working, also most of the times I used to call her.
Okay.
In the office, we'd talk a bit and whatever. Yeah. Then one time we invited her to where I was staying.
But how come you are not talking? She said you are quiet, you are not talking, and you just want to be with her. So
I was an introvert.
Okay.
And because of my background, somehow I suffered rejection.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt like because even in the neighborhood, we would eat chapo once in a year during Christmas time.
Once a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And our diet was pumpkin, cassava, and sweet potatoes.
That was a diet.
Yeah. So the kind of food that we ate, I felt it was not the kind of food that I desired, because I had neighbors who were well up and I could smell the chapos and whatever, and ourselves we are here. Our mother instructed not to go eat in somebody's house. So that's the instruction that if you are sent, you go and do what you've been told. Never eat from that house, from in the
Why? Why did she tell you that?
Because boys, that time we were because of hunger and whatever, you would go and pick somebody's house and sit there. So when the children are being fed, you can also benefit.
You can also get
so it was part of discipline.
Oh.
It was part of discipline.
You don't go begging.
Yeah. So that's the kind of life that we lived.
Wow.
And so when she came, I found that she has a heart like of a mother. And my mother is ailing.
Yeah.
She's been ailing for a long time. And I was doing most of the work in the house. So when I met her, I felt that I was the right person.
Yeah.
So one time I invited her to come as she was going to church, to visit me where I was sitting, in that Pagani area. And I was an expert in chapo making. Because even in our house, during Christmas, I was the chef in the house for the chapo.
Oh, making chapati.
From one pack, I would make 15 chapos, and I would make one small for myself. I hide it. So when the others have taken each one of us, I also take the second one.
Because you hate one.
Yeah. Very thick and very big. Okay. So I invited her to come to Pagani.
Yeah.
And that time I prepared some chapo.
Wow.
Very good professionally. She came.
You must win her.
Yeah, I fed her with the chapo.
Wow.
From that time, her love for me grew.
Bas.
Tukajuana sana.
Hey, how did you feel when you went to visit with him and he had made chapati? How did you, of course you had gone home visiting and now he's inviting you to his house. How did that, make you feel? And how did you end up deciding now, I think I'll accept this man, though he's coming from a very poor family?
I think I admired his honesty.
Okay.
He didn't hide his family. And then I also got connected with the man he was sharing the house with as a brother to the friend to my brother who connected us.
Okay.
And they were also very friendly. Very friendly to me. It's like they were in a plot where people from Mangu, from his village, they were there. So it's like when I went, they also befriended me so closely. It's like receiving me in Nairobi, and I had gone home. So I think that triggered my heart, like I'm so accepted. And that acceptance and that kind of love, I think, covered the other issues that were a worry to me. That I was able to speak
you saw the person, leave alone now the poverty, the needs and all that. You liked this person. Okay.
The honesty and the devotion to work, and he was honest about his responsibilities at home, at his level. So that gave me now a boldness to in fact, I did a very strange thing because I told him, I want to take you to my father.
Oh.
I took him to my father to the office and introduced him first.
Oh.
Now, by the time now he was going home, my father knew him.
Oh, you first went to the office.
We went to the office now with him, and I told my father about him.
Okay.
And I knew now when my father comes home with the news, when my father accepts, it will be very easy for my mother at home. And that's how now we started. We courted for, I think, less than a year. We didn't stay for long.
Wow.
Less than a year. And
how was the chapati?
The chapatis, they were good. I don't know whether it is because of love or because they really were fond of me, all of them. So they were good. Because even today he can make very good chapatis.
I hope he still does.
He does it. He does it. He did it in December.
Yes, I did.
At least once a year.
Yeah. He still does it.
Wow. So finally you decided here we can get married.
Yeah.
Okay.
We involved our parents and we went through the process, and we did our wedding at home. Weddings were very rare that time, and the condition of weddings is that the girl should be taken from the parents' home. That was a condition.
So they came for you all the way from Muranga?
We had to, we didn't do our wedding in our church. We did in our parents' church at home.
PCA church.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then had to drive all through to his home, Mangu, for a reception.
For the reception.
That was the order and the rule.
The same day.
The same day.
Wow.
Weddings, like in his home, a wedding is like a community thing.
It is.
Because there are no weddings. So everybody,
a lot of people will come.
A lot of people.
So if you do it in your place and then people come for reception, not everybody will come from your place. So you don't feed the people there. You only feed the people who come to the reception.
The reception.
Others can go home.
Yeah, after church. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. About how many people came to your wedding? Do you know?
Well, I think there were many, but we had hired a bus from Kenyatta University.
Okay.
That very people from Muranga.
To come to your place.
Yeah, there were so many vehicles. In fact, we had so many vehicles that day.
Oh.
God gave us favor.
Okay.
But majority
and we didn't have a vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, you were not
majority
driving.
came from home because they wanted to see this
Wedding.
Garo's wedding.
Oh.
The kind of a person they know me.
From the
And
Jigas.
my family and whatever. So the attendance was quite big.
Oh.
It's quite big.
Okay.
It was quite big.
What kind of a car was carrying the bride?
We had a very beautiful car. It was 2 weeks old.
2 weeks?
Audi. Yeah, Audi.
Audi.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was case R, green.
Oh, then you mlikuwa better.
And 504 from Kenya Airways.
They were very excited about the wedding.
We had so many vehicles.
So people offered to give them to you.
Free.
Yeah.
Free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So your relationship here during the courtship, were there struggles that maybe you're struggling with this? You said you like struggling with the rejection. You're coming from a very poor background, not very poor were you having challenges relating and trying to come together? How did you handle that?
Through God's grace and favor, and in fact, by the way, my dowry, I paid 3,000 shillings.
Your dowry?
Yeah, 3,000
You
shillings.
need to go and pay more.
He went back.
I went back.
Oh, you went back?
Yeah, I went back.
I would have said you go next week. Okay. 3,000 shillings.
3,000 shillings.
Wow.
That my first suit wear was on that day.
Oh, you
My
never
first-
want to shoot?
Yeah, no, never
Wow.
before. But the shoe was still the old one.
Huh?
An old shoe.
It was, you didn't have a new shoe for your wedding?
No, I could not afford. I could not afford.
Still the old shoe?
Yeah.
I hope not the old socks.
No, the old socks, but the new socks, but with the old shoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a new suit?
Yes. And my friend bought me for the suit. It was 900 shillings.
900.
Yes.
Wow, things were cheap.
Grey.
Yes.
Yes.
And a tie?
And a tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which you have never worn before?
Yes.
Okay.
The parents accepted me.
Okay.
The dad really, they accepted me. The parents accepted me.
Yeah.
So I had that comfort. So even after wedding, and after the dad retired, and God has continued even to bless us, even financially. And I remember was when Dad was building a house during his retirement. We also contributed. We bought him sofa sets, windows, and curtains.
Yeah.
So they really accepted us. Later on, my dad passed on, but Mama lived for many years, and she was a buddy to me. She really loved me, even to her last minute. She treated me like one of her sons. And I felt all the comfort in that home.
So that helped you to deal with the rejection, all that you had gone through.
Yeah.
Did your mother make it to the wedding?
She made it.
She was very sick. Yeah.
But she died. In fact, she died 6 months after our wedding.
Oh, sorry.
6 months after our wedding.
That was so soon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that? Losing your mother, you're still very young family.
Yeah, it was not easy. And adjusting to that, because I always wished that my mother would live longer, so that I assist her and help her.
Yeah.
And then after that, my dad decided to get married, because I think by the time my mom died, my father would have been around 50 years. I think they were quite. He was still young. So he married. But the wife could not. The stepmother could not take the step of my mother. So I felt more inclined to my mother-in-law, who would go there most of the times, and she would receive us and treat us as children.
Yeah.
Through that, God was able even to walk with me, was able even to help us. But one of the things that we suffered we really went through with my wife during that time, is that our firstborn used to get sick a lot. A lot. He was sickly. And anytime we visited home, we'd go direct to hospital, to take him to hospital. Anytime we went home, either Moranga or Mangu, that evening we wouldn't go home. We'd go straight to get to the hospital. He was asthmatic. And it was really a challenge for us. And we were asking God, for how long are we going to live this kind of life? Because it was a prolonged time in that condition. And also it was really wearing us down. When you see that the son that you have, whatever is going through, that was the challenge. But through time, God was able even to heal him, and he got delivered from that. And we thank God. But that was our testing moment, that we had a sick child. And the issue is not about even treatment. It's about that almost every week. We'd go to hospital at night.
Wow, that was challenging.
It was a challenge.
So now you were married and all that. Where did you live when you first got married? You live in Pangani, or where did you live?
I decided to join her. She came out from university, so we we rented a small room, about 10 by 10.
Single room.
Yeah, single room with a bed. And a piece of sofa set that would lean to the bed. There was a curtain, a blue curtain.
Okay.
And a small room, about 5 feet, where we had like a kitchen. Like a kitchen. And the bathroom is a common one, because it's a plot. And about 18 rooms. And so early in the morning, I would just peep from the window to see whether it's a queue, so that I learn. By the time you prepare, and you are going with a towel, somebody else has also entered. So it was just the kind of that kind of life. But the issue challenge that we have, that now we have our son, Moses,
in the same room.
In the same room. She's expectant. So we are 4 on one bed. The one in the stomach, another one who is now kicking, and he's also kicking the mother, and I'm there.
Wow.
And we have a house help in the same room.
Why didn't you? The same room, you still have a house help?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The room was a bed sitter.
Yeah.
So we had a bed.
The fold that was called safari bed. Safari bed.
Safari, I remember.
So the girl would sleep now near the kitchen.
But it's still within the same room.
Yeah, it's the same room.
Wow. Why did you buy a bed for your son? At least to be
there was no space.
No space.
The house is full.
Yes, full.
And you're cooking there, sleeping there, everything is there.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's why you started.
Yes.
Yeah.
For how long did you live like that?
I think it didn't take long. Because like I was due for a promotion in KU, and the promotion that I was really expecting, and I had all the papers, and my boss was telling me I should get it, was a promotion that was to add me some money and also to give me a coverage medically.
Oh, okay.
So, you know how institutions work. I kept waiting because of our son who needed medication. Then as we continued now praying, God didn't come through that direction.
Yeah.
This company, international company where he was working, it grew so much, and he grew with it.
Okay.
And so he was promoted to a managerial position.
Okay.
So we got a coverage now medically.
Yeah.
Not even the KU one, which was some limited doctors.
Yeah.
For him, it's like any hospital, any doctor.
Uh-huh.
So God solved it that way. And in the process of that, again, our son got healed.
Oh.
The Lord touched him.
Yeah.
So the Lord started coming in as we prayed and served him.
Tell us more about your children, because you're mentioning your son. Tell us now, how many more did you get, and how are they?
We have 3 children. The 2 came following one another. Then we have a daughter who came 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. Stories inside, not now.
So you have 3
So
children.
we have 3 children, 2 sons. Of course, they are adults, and a daughter. And God just twisted our life. One, as much as we lived that humble life, we never missed growing in church and in serving God from our early life.
Yeah, yeah.
We were very faithful serving God. He, at some point, became in charge of the evangelism in our church. I was always, even in my young marriage, in the women department.
Okay.
I was in intercessory. And we continued with our small children.
And you're not, are you driving to go to
We
church?
are not driving.
So you carry your children and get into the matatu?
Yeah.
The one you said you face each other?
Yes.
And you go to church?
Yeah.
Wow.
And God was faithful because he rewarded us. Now I got the promotion, and before I even got it, Hayes came. Hayes came before. The company gave him a car.
Yeah.
And the advantages of now medical that we needed, healing comes now through God in the family. And so that time now we moved houses. And we got deeper into ministry.
Yeah.
I would love to tell young families, when people get married, sometimes they get enclosed to themselves, and young children.
About their problems.
And their problems. Yeah. But somehow we continued. We continued serving God to an extent. We got to a place where we were serving our church, and we also had a ministry of reaching out. We would reach out to pastors who want to start churches. And we had a ministry. Some of the members were from Kenyatta University, where I was. Yeah. And we would go out. Actually, that's where we met Bishop. Yeah. Because we would do keshas and organize ministries to different churches, even in the rural areas. Yeah. And do evangelistic meetings. And sometimes even go to an extent where one of the university students finished and he went to America, and he could come with the wazungus, and we could do outreach meetings even to the unreached areas. He has gone many times to
Rodua,
those unreached areas.
What was pushing you? Because a lot of, mostly today you don't see that push, that passion for ministry, evangelism. What brought that about, if you would say?
I think to us, we serve God when we don't have. Because like you see, there was sickness in the house and God heals.
Yeah.
That one used to be a trigger that God can reward. So when you get a blessing, it's like, I want to go deeper and reach other people. I think blessings to us used to trigger now a burden to other people because you've gone through it.
Yeah.
It never used to turn to us that let me enrich myself and keep to myself and get more of what I didn't have.
Yeah.
It used to add the burden because of what you have gone through.
That's right.
And I think that one triggered a lot our service. We could do intercessory in our church, do evangelism, and then reach out to the unreached areas, all through when our children were coming up.
It's been quite a journey. Before you wind up, maybe each one of you can tell us what has been, maybe in your journey, in marriage, family, raising children. If you can remember an incident or a situation that was a low moment that you went through some challenging, maybe tough, very tough time that you can remember to encourage other people that are listening, that I went through this or we went through this and we came through and here we are today. So whoever is ready can tell us something that you went through.
Okay. And I think I'll talk about that because in the course of our ministry and living together as family, united, doing things together, a time came that I lost my job. And I have lost a job where I was I was comfortable. I had a company car. I had another car for her.
Yeah.
And our life was good. The children, the school fees paid by the company for our children.
Wow.
And I've lost the job. And before I left that office, I stayed there for 1 year without salary because there are issues complicated with KRI, a lot of things, taxation, all those things. So the company clubboard and we didn't have money.
Wow.
So when I left, the issue was to adjust because our life was comfortable.
Yeah.
And in fact, in her life, she never went to bank to withdraw money. I would ask her her budget, I would give her money, her tithe, I give. She could not go to bank.
Wow.
And now our children are now transiting to the youth, and they are now supposed to go to university. I've lost the job.
Yeah.
The money she has cannot even keep us.
Wow.
And it became an issue. It became an issue because we didn't know how to apply for loan. Me, I have got on press to apply for loan, but she had an access through the university circle to borrow the money, and she went through that process. It was very discouraging and heartbreaking, and she would get some money and go to pay for one of our children. Then her salary now reduces because she has to pay for that. I have no job to do. We have 2 cars. I sold 1 car, and I started a hotel somewhere in Park Road. I employed people who are born again, and I lost the business. I was taken to the chief's office to pay them. They have stolen my GCOS and everything. Nimepelekwa chief, nimeripa. And then I went. It was a trade that we were going down, and now we are left with 1 car, and our last born daughter, is going to primary school, and we cannot fuel this car. And the battery is down, the tires are worn out, they are like tubes, and she was an expert of being pushed. Anytime that we stop, that time we used to have manual. And vijana kuja, mama tukusaidie. So they push.
The
They push, they expect some token from her. When it starts, anawafanya hivyo. Mama ameenda na pesa.
Because she has no money.
She has no money. Because even to fuel that car is an issue. It's an issue.
Wow.
To an extent that when we are taking our child to school, sometimes she would get there late.
Wow.
Because the car didn't had an issue on the way, until some children in the same class talked to their twins. They talked to their dad, who was a neighbor.
Okay.
And they told me, Ruth comes to school very late because they had an issue with their car. You must be carrying Ruth every morning. So that man was an officer. He would come, the vehicle would come and pick our daughter to go to school.
Wow.
And that's how we but the life was a bit challenging, but God, through it all, God's grace was sufficient.
Wow.
We went through, the Bible says that in the book of Isaiah 48, verse 10, the Bible says, I've chosen you in the furnace of afflictions. We went through a furnace of afflictions, a lot of pain, a lot of rejection.
Wow.
And it was just like that. But by God's grace, we went through that process, and God was able even to restore us back. And
how long did it last, that season of?
It was a long season because we were in the house. We entered our house before it completed. There was no painting, there was no water, there was no toilet, there was nothing in the house.
Wow.
There's no power. And our children, when they wake up in the morning, they see the roof, there's no ceiling, and say, "Mapa ni kuanguka," because the house is quite, it's not finished.
Yeah.
So we lived in that house for some time without water, without electricity. We'd go for water to Githurai, we'd use a generator. And I had also put conditions that when the fuel runs off, there's no starting it again. So if it goes off, you go to sleep.
You sleep.
That's how we used to live.
Wow.
But it took us close to,
I think the university years.
Wow.
Because our
that's
two
quite
boys were in
more than
Form
4 years.
and they were going now to university.
4 years.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So how did you get out of that, and what kept you going?
Faith in God and a lot of encouragement, because I was to go to a depression.
Wow.
Because of the kind of life that we used to live.
You're coming up there all the way down.
Down. Anytime I would walk to the main road, I'd hear car rolling coming from behind, I would hide because I don't want somebody to stop and give me a lift and ask me questions.
Oh.
So anytime I had a car coming from back, I would change my route so that if somebody who knows me doesn't stop to give me a lift. That's a part of the rejection.
Because you are used to driving, you have your own car.
And the worst part is that when you walk and somebody stops you and tells you, "Hey, una gari leo," and that person even doesn't have a vehicle. But he now is reminding me that I'm supposed to be driving.
Yeah.
That person doesn't have a vehicle.
Yeah, but they are used to seeing you driving.
Yeah. Una gari nini konini?
Yeah.
So that through people, so that we also those woods were breeding because of people.
But she did encourage you.
She did. She did. I would have gone down because as a man, I felt that I had failed, and I don't know what to do. And this is struggling to service the loans.
Yeah.
And we are going to church. We are walking to the church. By using matatus. Our children are now going to the neighboring church because we cannot go with them to town.
Church,
it was quite challenging. And he become an expert of loan to advise people how to borrow money and refund and whatever. And we thank God. God restored us.
And here you are today.
We are here today.
Still growing strong.
Yes.
Mama, tuambie na wewe. Any low moment you can remember?
Okay, those were low moments in the family, but what I would say, they are seasons, and seasons are not eternal.
Yeah.
They come to an end, and God has a purpose as long as you stay with Him. I look at our life today, maybe I can start from there, and I see, like now where we are serving, in Githurai 44, you are overseeing that ministry, and I encounter a community. And I think if we never went through what we went through, we wouldn't be able to identify with the community, of the kind of people we are dealing with now.
Needy and
The needy people, people that you have to follow day by day, people that can live on one meal.
yeah,
So sometimes, and we dared do ministry again in a church at our age.
yeah,
After we retired, we thought we would sit down now and relax.
Relax, yeah.
We've served God devotedly and done what we would probably call a lot. And then during COVID at our age, go to Githurai. Now I encounter the people there and I remember what we went through, and I see the Lord had a part in
you
it,
can relate
preparing.
to them, yeah.
But I also want to tell our viewers that it's good to be open in different seasons that you go through, because like I was a professional, he also was one, and we were working in offices. We had skills.
Yeah.
But when the seasons came, when those skills and offices and our finances are being tried, we were able to adjust in many ways. Like, for instance, we have children in the university, 2 of them,
Yeah.
and it's parallel program. We went to Gekoba. We got somebody from church who was bringing bales, containers from Dubai,
Second-hand clothes.
second-hand clothes. And we made an arrangement where we get a store there and get the good ones that are taken from a member of our church.
Yeah.
And we did that. It maintained us in a big way.
Wow.
And I would ask people, especially in the household of faith, it's very important to know who does what. So that when we get to know the people in the household of faith and what is happening, we can be a blessing to one another.
Yeah.
Because we did that business, it was part of what really helped us to push through.
Yeah.
And our children never lacked to go to school to the extent that anybody needed.
Wow.
The other thing...
that was a big adjustment coming from the kind of jobs you are doing to go and do, you know, we call it Mutumba, the second-hand clothes in Gekomba.
Yeah.
You're coming from office, structured,
Yeah.
good salary, but now things have changed. How did you adjust to that? Many people are not able to adjust.
I think God just put a grace. I was also not a business person. Neither was he. Really had tried.
Yeah.
It's the grace of God. I always say the denominator, the foundational thing is the grace of God comes upon you. And God is jealous about you being devoted to serve him in season and out of season.
Wow.
I believe that's what picked us up in our low moments. Because we did that business. We were not selling one, it's a bill, but we had a store and we could get the best ones from a member of our church.
Wow.
And we put a girl there, and they would be sold, and anytime he brings containers with a lot of competition, God gave us that favor from a member from our church. The other thing we did, our house that was incomplete had a garage of 2 cars.
Yeah.
And we renovated the garage of 2 cars and became a hostel.
Okay.
I started taking girls from the university.
Okay.
And we stayed with them in the so-called garage. We put beds there. And they could come there and we We give them dinner because we didn't want them to start cooking, each person there. And that one became a business also that pushed us those years.
Being creative and innovative.
That's it.
And working with what you have. That's what you are teaching people.
That's it.
That learn to adjust. Because there are people, if you lose a job, that's the end of their lives. But you can adjust. You can calm down, you can adjust and decide, this is what I have, let me work with and I like those kind of ideas.
We accommodated 12 girls.
Wow.
In the house.
That is in your home.
Yes.
So you learned how to adjust. And I think that is very helpful because sometimes in life things change.
Yeah.
Things that you didn't expect happen. So you learn how to adjust and do things in a different way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That time my pay slip, because like he says, I learned how to get loans, which was not a story before. In my circle, I used to get, my pay slip used to be a letter more than a salary, because like emergency loan, school fees loans, all kinds of loan. It's like you are getting a reta more than of the deductions.
Yeah.
There's a time my salary was, the balance is about 2,000 shillings.
Wow.
Because all through the education of children, but that one now was being covered, our maintenance, through the businesses we started doing.
Yeah.
So my counsel is, let's not be rigid in these seasons.
Yeah.
Because they are not forever.
They come and go.
We don't do what we used to do.
Today you don't do the second-hand clothes.
We don't do.
You don't keep the girls in your
Our house
garage.
doesn't have such. We have more than one car.
That's true. So
And we are serving God.
So what you're saying is that those seasons don't last forever.
No.
They come and go, and that is encouraging.
Yeah.
Our time is gone, but I don't know. Your story is very captivating. We can sit here the whole day, but I'm sure it's encouraging a lot of people. Maybe one more question before I let you go. In your marriage, you've been married now for how long?
42 years.
The men don't remember,
Can't remember, maybe 43.
43.
Okay, 42, 43. We can take the average. Now, that's a long time.
From 82.
Wow, that's a long time. So maybe in a nutshell, what would you say for people who are listening, just got married, 5 years, 2 years, maybe there are struggles. What has kept you going, through your marriage, that you have stuck together through what they call thin and thick, through challenges, times you didn't have money, times you have money, raising children. Let's start with Mzee. What kept you going?
Marriage is quite challenging, but God is in it all. But what has helped me to continue in the marriage, that relinquishing my rights, I relinquish my rights, what she's supposed to do for me. I have learned that I should relinquish my rights and demands. And I have decided that there are things that I can do for myself. There are things that I don't have to tell her to do it for me. And that has really helped me even to continue. And also forgiveness.
Yeah.
And because a time comes that you have a misunderstanding. Times you are going somewhere and one of you gets raped, and on the way you are not even talking to one another, and you are going. So what I have learned is that I need to live a life of forgiving, and accepting her the way she is, and withdrawing my rights that she must do the 1, 2, 3 for me, and my responsibility, I feel that is to love her, to help her, and to work with her. And to give her space in the family and also in the ministry. Yeah, that has really helped.
Wow.
Just to.
That's a whole teaching. I think we'll have you come and teach the family. So there's so much. You love, you forgive, you give each other space, and much more. Reverend Penina, what would you say in your marriage life kept you going for the last 43 years?
I decided to not to fall in love, but to walk in love.
Tell us more. That's interesting. Because people say, I'm falling in love. I fell in love. So you didn't fall.
Because if I fell in love, I would have stayed down.
Yeah.
Because you fall through accidents and seasons keep changing.
Wow.
But walking, I realize is a journey.
Yeah.
And I purposed in my life that I'll walk with God. Mm-hmm. And I desired the unconditional love. Mm-hmm. So I've desired to love God. Mm-hmm. And I've realized when I love God, He is able to transform my personality so that as I walk a journey with such a man from such a background, mm-hmm. and me such a background, with the seasons coming, yeah. and we are serving God and we have a family to upkeep, mm-hmm. the love of God has really maintained me. Wow. Because that one now is able to cover multitudes of sin and forgive, like he's saying, mm-hmm. and mold me, mm-hmm. in my character, mm-hmm. my season accordingly. The love of God has been saved. Wow. I realized I cannot love this man because many seasons in his life, he is not lovable. Mm-hmm. I'm also not lovable in many seasons. Yeah. So if I try, I'll fail. Mm-hmm. And but when I love God, the love of God is able to manifest the character to forbear and move forward.
And 43 years, many women will say, have run away 3 times, 4 times. How many times have you?
I've never run away.
Never run away.
My mom never saw me in her house.
Wow. So you navigated through, fought the battles, and the closing, your parting shot, Reverend Thomas, you can look at that camera and just give us your parting shot.
I'd like just to encourage somebody through the scripture in 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 10 that says that after you have suffered for a little while, mm-hmm. the God of all grace will come himself personally and deliver you and restore you and make you steadfast. That the problems that we go every day, they are not there permanently. Every challenge has an expiry date. So I like to encourage somebody that there is a God of all grace. There's no grace that God doesn't have. If you are going through financial problems, there is grace for that. Sickness, there's grace for that. Marriage, there's grace for that. There's no grace that is not available from God. So I just want to encourage somebody that the suffering that you are going through today will not be there tomorrow. It's just only for a while. Take courage, have faith in God, trust in God, and wait upon God. God bless you.
Wow, thank you. Reverend Penina.
Yeah, I would ask us to, especially the challenges that are there, and the kind of attitude that families cannot work. I would ask our audience to purpose to seek the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. When you seek the kingdom, you seek God, and He is the author of the family. There are institutions you can never build. The family can only be built by God. And your family is a peculiar family. It has its own design. But it is within the design of God. Total dependence of God is my counsel. Even your own life, you are God's masterpiece. It's only God who can build and restore the purpose He has for it to come out. Mm-hmm. So that you are not threatened by the seasons that come. You are passing through them. They are not eternal. And God will glorify Himself through them. And like He says, there is grace for that season. So seek ye the kingdom. Pursue the kingdom. We've gone to schools preaching during those seasons. We've gone to churches for evangelism. We've served churches, and through it all, by seeking the kingdom, God has had mercy, and He has brought us this far. We are at the mid and over 60 years, and we still have a zeal to serve the Lord. Bishop knows it. He is overseeing the work we are doing in Githurai, and we really thank God that we have long life like Elijah. We have work to do. Amen.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. You've heard it. This is through it all, that at the end of the matter is seek first his kingdom. These other things may come and go. Challenges may be there, and you have heard it from them. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure it will be a blessing to thousands and thousands of people. This is Through It All. Thank you. God bless you, and see you next time.